Hello, hello. Hey, Christy, how are you today? This day has been crazy. I was doing everything possible to get here at least by 11:45 and everything crashed. The camera was crashing, falling. The droid cam wasn't working. It was not a good morning. However, we are here. I have a bunch of stuff that I need to do for Niffty at the current moment. And I'm trying to recall because last week when we left off, I had cut out the main pieces of fabric. I have basted the bodice. I cut out the pockets. I need to, and I did the interfacing with the facing, but I also need to start getting the, what is it? I have to get, hold on. Why are you not working? I need to get the lining fabric done, but I need to pattern it out so it fits better. I need to remind myself to move over here a little because I don't want to keep moving my frames. My frames are staying where they are. I'm not messing with them. That was another issue. Thank you. I hope to be. I'm gonna try. I'm aiming to finish her for Halloween so I could hand out candy like a demented, crazy, psychotic housewife because I think that would be fun. And I have to double check with Kiddo if it's okay if I show up to pick him up from school with Niffty makeup in the car because I'd rather do that earlier than later. But I don't want to embarrass him, so. Although I don't know if he is going to get embarrassed because that's how he is. Let's see. I'm here trying to figure out this. Also, too, I just kind of want to have the costume on hand because it will be easier to wear than Vaggie. Vaggie is easy to wear. It's the wig that's not going to be easy to put on. Also, too, I find it funny that I'm cosplaying both the one-eyed characters from Hazbin Hotel. Apparently, I don't want two eyes. But that's just me. I hope your Tuesday is going well, Christy, because mine has been chaos. My Monday was also chaos. But so far, I can't complain. Um so yeah. Lining, drafting lining fabric. That's what we have to do. Which is not fun. But off we go. Okay. I should put my music back on. Patterning 101. Not really. So last week I made the facing pieces, which look like this. So I want to make the lining. So I kind of have to subtract this from the top and then draft the rest of it. This is not going to be fun. But I think what I'm going to just do is trace this paper onto the big one and then figure it out from there. Come, my friend. I'm going to move you a little. Okay. That's better. Oh, awesome. Woohoo! I think the hardest thing with these types of streams is figuring out the dimensions of like where to put everything so you're not blocking something. That's the hardest part. Okay. So let's do this one first. The side bodice just needs lining. That doesn't need to have it adjusted. This, however, does. So I'm gonna stand up for this. I can't do this sitting down. Okay, let's see. I'm getting seriously nasally at the moment because my allergies are, I think, kicking in full force. Everything is turning colors here, which is beautiful and gorgeous. However, it kills me. And don't ever feel like you need to chat with me. I will talk to myself the entire stream because that's how I function on a daily basis. And if you want to lurk, work, do your own projects, be my guest. That is all you need to do. I am trying to figure out how to set up my wireless mic, but that was like giving me too much of a drama, so I gave up really fast. Going so close to this microphone makes me feel like a radio host. Like I'm podcasting or something. Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get another mic. I have to think about it. Okay, tracing the whole pattern, and then we'll just subtract the facing after. Would be the fastest way to do this. Because otherwise I have to do math, and we try not to do too much math in this house. At least me. Everybody else in my house can do math really well. Not me. So I am not math inclined. I should... Oh no, my pencil still has a good point. I was like, wait, do I need to sharpen my pencil? Alright, so we are going to... Okay, I'm not going to worry about the seam allowance on this puppy because... Wait. I'm a fool. Wow, I said I was foolish in my last stream and now I really pulled out the tomfoolery. Okay. I'll fix that later. Because clearly I forgot about that aspect. Tomfoolery aside. Okay, this is where I need to add it. Okay. We're not going to add too much seam allowance here. But I'm going to add some. Because I want to make sure this falls in a very nice... It lays nicely with the facing underneath the dress. Now I could easily just serge the dress and not put any lining fabric, but I don't want the satin constantly on my skin. Also, too, if I get warm or something, I won't sweat so much with this, and it won't damage the satin, my sweat and stuff like that. So, yeah. We're gonna try that because sometimes I do this just for more the functionality of the garment, not so much necessarily the aesthetic. So, okay. Okay. So, I have this. So this is going to be front liner, center front, cut one. Yushi, how are you? Hi. How are you? How's everything? Yeah, it's like with deception. It's like you see my hands, you see me. Hi, how are you? How is everything? All right. We're just gonna cut this one out. Interesting. I hold on. My ads are not working today. What you're hearing is the lo-fi music that Streamlabs provides. I try to use like royalty-free music so nothing gets muted. So that is something I do. So I just have it on in the background playing. Yep, that's it really. So right now I'm just working on this costume. I really need to hustle if I want to get it done for Halloween. I thought I would get something done this weekend, but life was more important. So, you know, we just did that. Ah, okay. I understand. Yeah, it's whatever the instrumental stuff Streamlabs provides. Quite honestly, one of the funniest things about cosplaying, crafting, sewing is you probably spend more time prepping everything and finishing everything. The actual bulk part of the work is not that time consuming. And I think the same thing even goes when you are like doing like construction and stuff. The prep and the finishing are always the longest parts of the whole thing. Not just like the actual building, like putting things together and like screwing them or sewing them together, getting like the general form of things, not a problem. It is the prep work. I feel like I've been prepping for this costume for weeks. But thank you for coming by, Kyushi. I'm very surprised to see you. Hope work goes well for you. Again, it's nice to see that you popped on and said hi on stream on the chat. Don't feel like you're required to continue chatting if you're busy with work. Do your work thing. Again, I talk to myself a lot, which is good because people understand my process, but I also seem like I'm crazy because I'm just talking out loud. So maybe that's why it's nice that I'm streaming. So, when I cut out my lining fabric, it's going to look like this. And the fashion fabric's going to be here. And then I have a piece of fashion fabric that will go up here. So if it happens to peek out, which it won't because of how I'm going to sew it together, it will, you will see fashion fabric and not lining. And this is the lining fabric. So it's just regular red cotton. And then the fashion fabric is this really pretty red satin, which isn't showing up very well because the lighting in this room is horrible. That's something I have to fix. I would love to get a new ceiling fixture because I don't like this one. However, these are very expensive ceiling fixtures that we have. The ceiling fan is, I think, like a Hampton Bay or something. It's pretty pricey. No. You're not gonna be white enough. Oh no, I have to unroll this thing again? I don't like that. Okay. Time to unroll and unwind the pattern paper so I have access to it. Little pumpkin. The pumpkin goes to the gnomes that I have hanging on the back. It fell down. So one of the gnomes lost their trick-or-treating pail. I have to fix that before Halloween comes. I'm kind of interested to see how Halloween works here in my new neighborhood, in my new area, because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I'm very curious to see. Also too, like, my kiddo is older, so he doesn't even know what he wants to do for Halloween. And I made the blunder of going to Sam's Club this morning and not buying candy because I was like, I'm gonna buy candy. And I'm like, man, I really should have bought candy. But probably tomorrow when I head to Costco to get gas, I'll buy candy at Costco. I feel like ever since we got these memberships, I see the interior of a wholesale club multiple times in a week. Hydration, important. Okay. We'll do the same thing on this side because that worked out really fast. We will easily trace out the whole thing and then trace the facing and then just cut it out where the facing lies. That worked out beautifully before. We'll continue that trend. I honestly think I'm going to make pattern weights when all is said and done. Before I continue like sewing and stuff like that, I want to make pattern weights, which is basically just making, although I kind of feel like just going to Lowe's or Home Depot and buying large washers because those also make awesome pattern weights. And I don't have to make them. Although I think it'd be really cute to make some that are like resin gems, like resin disc that look like mushrooms. That sounds like really on brand. I think I'm gonna do that. Make ones that look like mushrooms. Come on, that would be super cute. Mushroom pattern weights. It's gonna be like the next best thing. Okay. Will I get to sewing this today? Who the hell knows? We will find out. We're gonna try our best. Well, at least I'll set up the sewing machine. And then if I sew later today, I will. Hello, Yoda. It's suppressed? Oh, why? Because I'm wearing leggings? Or because, oh, because I'm wearing a t-shirt that covers it? Probably. How are you today, Yoda? How are you feeling? Oh, yeah, because I decided it would, after watching the last stream, I was like, wait, why don't I flip the cameras when I actually sit down to work on it? That would make so much more sense. So that's what we did. I see, I see. Sorry to hear that. I hope everything turns out all right. It's okay. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff too currently. Nothing nothing directed toward me or like my immediate household. Like we're cool, we're all fine. It's my family up north, so that has stuff that we need to deal with. So, I did for this stream remember to bring my glasses so I can see chat better. It's kind of working because I can see chat better, but I can't wear them when I'm working, so it's still a moment. Let me move my monitor over. Yeah, that helps out. Okay. I should be careful with these. Again, I became a member of the Glasses Club very recently, just because my eyes have aged, despite me trying to remain an eternal vampire. So I'm becoming slightly myopic, so I can't see as clearly far away as I used to. But I still can drive without a problem. I still can see signs driving, but they tend to be on a much larger scale. Like little words like this in chat are nowhere near like street sign size. So, yeah. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Um, I did order my wig for Niffty, so I'm gonna have to style it heavily from what I saw in the reviews. Basically, it's like a somewhat pre-styled wig for Niffty, but it's really just it has it all. The colors are set up properly, and you just have to style it. So that's going to be fun to do. I am seriously being very sarcastic about that comment. Okay. No. Huzzah. I forgot to put the darts in there. I'll figure it out later. Where's the facing fabric? I need the facing. Hello, back facing. Where did you run off to? Okay, that's front facing. That's the side piece. Back facing. Where did you go? Where are you hiding? Oh my gosh. I have too much paper out. Okay, let me look on the floor. She ran away. She was like, no, I am sorry. I don't want this. This is not what I signed up for, but sorry about that. Didn't mean to slime that down. Let's see. Okay, no. Oh, wait. Actually, yes. Oh, wait, no. Oh, yes. Yes, this is what we want. We want this, and then I add the seam allowance to this side, because that would make the most sense. So let's do that. And continue onward. These are like the most... This is such a messy trace, but I really just need a very basic shape to know where to go next. Okay, let's add that little bit of seam allowance here again, because that will help. Okay. Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, let's continue on with this trace. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. After I do Niffty, I might start working on fixing Vaggie and working on the wig, just so I can get that said and done, because that would be important. Because I would love to finish that one. And after that, I really want to figure out what I want to work on. And I have been toying around with making a Pokemon Gajinka costume that is D&D inspired. And I want to like make a rogue, but with a Pokemon character, with a Pokemon, and I just think it'd be really cute. I had thought of one Pokemon, but I think I might switch out what Pokemon I'm using and do another Pokemon, just because I think it'd be fun. I'm not very well versed in most of the Pokemon games. I haven't played a lot of the newer ones. Just because I haven't. I've seen people play them, but I haven't played them myself. So we'll see. Because I think that would be fun. Because I was already imagining like a really cute like outfit for a rogue. That would be like, you know, your base level rogue that's like a really cute character that's able to be kind of like that charlatan and like really play up with the masses. Thought that'd be fun. So might work on that after this, because I have something important coming up that I would like a really nice looking costume for, and we will see how that works out. Also too, it gives me like an excuse to like do something more creative and not necessarily worrying about accuracy and making it look perfect, because the perfection is only how much I want to put into it. So I want to play around with something like that because I think that would be really fun. And only the reason why I'm thinking about changing what Pokemon I'm doing for the original one that I thought of to a newer one is because I think it'd be really fun to actually like have more Pokemon features that really make you see what the character is. So that's my thought right there. So we'll see. Yeah, and I get to like, because I was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, if I do that character, I can play around with like ears and like getting like actual like shaped feet. That would look really cool. It's gonna be like a really fun build. It's gonna be something like completely out of my element, because I tend to be someone who tends to just remake things and follow things for more accuracy purposes than being more creative, taking creative liberties on things. And that's something I haven't done since making my Victorians like inspired Lolita-esque Alice costume, which I did like back in 2009. So I haven't done something like that in a long time, and I feel like I am due to do something like it's time to work on something like that. So this is the center back. This is lining, facing, cut to. I need to write these nicer. I do. But for now, we're not worrying about that. All right, so I have my lining pieces, my lining patterns done, which is perfect because I just have to make, oh, let me just write down, this is also facing, lining, cut to. Cut by 2. So, all right, I have these pieces that need to be done. These are done. And the only other thing I might need to do is cut out the lining for the skirt. But I think I'm going to do it with a different fabric, not the cotton. I think I'm actually going to use like regular lining fabric. But part of it is, do I want to do a petticoat attached to the lining fabric or not? Decisions. Absolute decisions. Okay. Complete aside, this is the best type of pocket pattern you can use in skirts because it's a normal pocket, which we all know how to make pockets. However, it is extended all the way up. so it goes into the waistband of your skirt. Now, this won't work if you're doing a dress, a seamless dress that doesn't have a bodice and a skirt piece, but if your dress has a bodice and a skirt piece, this sits in the line, the waist side, the waistline of your bodice and skirt, and it helps distribute the weight of whatever you put in the pocket, so your skirt remains the way it should look and not get pulled down by the weight of your items that you put in your pocket. So make sure you make your pattern extend up to your waist, that for a pocket, if you do a skirt or a skirt and bodice dress. Best thing ever. I love it. I would put my phone and a bunch of stuff in my Ai Hoshino costume that would weigh it down, and I never felt the weight of the skirt like tilt because the top of the pockets were sitting in the waistband. Best trick. In historical patterns, they would have a strap normally that would like hang on the edge and go into the waistband, so it would do the same idea, like distribute weight better. But this, good pattern. You can make it yourself. I mean, their pockets are not hard to pattern. They're literally a kidney bean shape, but go all the way up. I need my put those guys up there. You go here. Actually, we'll see how much fabric I have left over on this pattern, on this one, because if I have enough, I'll just maybe use the skirt for this so it won't be so staticky. I feel like cotton won't make it as staticky, so. Some very calming activities after a very busy morning. I also had a horrible time sleeping last night. The whole house did. I don't know what was going on last night. I feel like every time I would fall asleep, I'd fall into a deep sleep. I'd wake up thinking like hours had passed and it was like only an hour or a half an hour. I would like wake up and I'm like, oh my god, it's like 20 hours later. Nope. And I am trying to like wake up earlier in the mornings, more for like my mental health and stuff, to do like meditative practices and stuff before everyone wakes up and I have to deal with people. Not that I don't love dealing with my family, I do. So in case you're listening, Kiro, I love you. Don't think I don't. But I think it's just one of those things that I'm just trying to like get myself in my A game for all the projects I need to work on, so I can achieve the dreams that I wish to attain. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wake up at 7. When I kept waking up and like it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, I was like, you know what? No. We'll put the alarm for the standard wake up time which is 7:30. So it's not that I'm even trying to wake up that much earlier. I'm only trying to wake up a half an hour earlier, but I figure with that half an hour time, I could journal, I could meditate, I could do a few things to like jumpstart my day on a positive foot. But yeah, that didn't happen. Again, I saw that I kept waking up and I was like, yeah. I wake up earlier, it might be a disaster. So no. Okay. All right, cool. Oh, I should cut out the sleeves too on this fabric. I want to do a little sleeve ruffle, like a sleeve support to help the puff stay puff. Although, looking at my pattern, like my mock-up, my sleeve stays very puffy regardless, so don't have to worry about it too much. So let's see how much we get done. I'm not adjusting the length on these like I had with the fashion fabric. I don't think it needs it. What was it? Let me look at the patterns just to make sure. Oh, that works out. The two pieces I did extend are on that side, not this side. So I can still extend a little bit. Let me get my chalk and do that. The ruler. I feel that was too much when I did that. So let's just do this much. I need my sewing scissors over here. Don't cut your other fabric. Okay. Okay. So on Sunday, I was chatting about how we were watching this anime that was airing the summer season. I think it started June till like obviously October, and it just ended recently. And it's called Wistoria, which I found funny because since I used the name Wisty, I was like, oh, look, it's Wisty. Wisty's there. But it was Wistoria, Wand and Sword. Which was weird because I'm not gonna lie, there were like so many kickbacks to these series we do not Magical Academy series we do not mention. There were so many moments that I was like, why do I feel like I am watching a hybrid of That Magical School and My Hero Academia? Because literally that's what it was. And I didn't like think of it until there were certain episodes. I was like, One, this reminds me of that that young wizard and that wizarding school. And then there were other moments that I'm like, this is my hero. What is going on? One of the professors at the academy, because it is a magical academy that trains mages to basically help protect the city or like the country. It's a weird concept because it's like they're in a country that's basically isolated and self-contained because the sky will fall basically. And they're training these wizards to be soldiers to prepare for when the sky falls. And the main character is not one that he's basically the underdog, which obviously both of those other series has the same thing. They are the underdog. They really can't do some things. And so he can't do any magic whatsoever. And yet he's in a school for wizards or mages, and Will, his name is Will, cannot make anything like magic happen. However, he's very good with a sword. And they very much frown upon on like physical exertion and like, no, you can't, like, that's not magic, you're not a real mage, blah blah blah. So you have that, which are elements, but he has a professor and his name is Edward. And I literally laughed because obviously in the beginning I immediately noticed the connection to, I forgot his last name, Professor Edward, with a certain potions master in that series we don't speak about. But then there were so many moments that he literally resembled Aizawa from My Hero that I was just like, oh my god, it's a hybrid of the two. This is so weird. But the story finished. It was pretty good. There were obviously moments that you're like, well, obviously nothing's gonna happen to them here because the story needs to continue. Um, but they did leave enough mystery for you to be like, huh, this is I want to know what happens. I want to see if my predictions are correct. I did really grow to enjoy the character Will. I thought he was really good. I didn't find him very one-dimensional, although his catalyst and his motivating drive in the series literally is just to be with his childhood um friend slash love, like his first love. Basically, she had ascended to the higher ranks of the mages because she was able to do advanced magic even as a toddler. And when once she went into the academy, that's it. She just jumped immediately to the highest ranks. And he's trying to get up there to be with her. So like, yeah, it's a very one-dimensional type of motivation, but it's nice to see how he is more complex about it. So like, even though he does that, he uses that to help give him strength, but at the same time it doesn't mean he lacks fear or concern or worry. He still has all those things, but he tries to suppress it by just focusing on the fact that he wants to be with her. So that was a fun series. I'm kind of happy we saw it. The last episode was pretty anticlimactic. I feel like because they crunched everything in the first 11 episodes, episode 12 kind of like fell short. I also feel like they must have realized early on in the production that they were going to get a season 2, so they kind of figured out they could stall the ending the way they did. So that was a little disappointing. Not gonna say it wasn't. But overall, good. It was a good series. The animation was fantastic. especially when they did all the spell sequences. Whew, and the fighting sequences, because there's a lot of action in the story. It was really cool. Although, like, it did do that whole thing that newer animation is doing currently, which is it does the whole, it kind of like stretches out the characters and makes them like kind of look like inflatable tube man type style. But overall, pretty good. I'm not watching too much this season. I haven't really looked that much into what is on this season. All I know is a household favorite is on season 3, and we're all watching it. Which, that's the other set of costumes I need to work on. I keep getting chewed out on because I haven't worked on them, and I said I would make them. So, yeah. I'm supposed to make Hajime and Yue from Arifureta, so me and my husband can cosplay them together. Again, really cute, like, characters. I love Hajime. Hajime is like one of the best anti-heroes in an anime I've seen for a long time. Like, the man has zero chill. He's like, yeah, we're not doing that. I don't care if that's what people need to do. Like, good people will want to do, like, if you have a kind heart, but I don't have time for that, and it's gonna get in the way of what we need to do. So yeah, we're not doing it. But then yeah, he still finds himself in a position that he goes and helps anyway. But it's not the way we would expect from like a normal hero. So yeah. Ari Fuerta, from Commonplace to World's Greatest or World's Finest. I have such a love for that series. It's not even funny. I want my sleeve. Where'd the sleeve go? Oh ho, we have a sleeve pattern. Okay. Let's cut this puppy out. And then I guess I could see what's up here for like, if this is enough for the skirt. I realize now, like, I think this is supposed to be the lining fabric for my Maka Auburn skirt. So, Maka Auburn, I do, yeah. It's cotton from Joanne, so it's not like it's impossible to get, so. What's fun with all the projects I currently have lined up, I'm doing something new in all of them, which is something I wanted to do as a cosplayer. So for Niffty, it's making the actual like Cyclops eye and wig styling, because I was pretty good at wig styling when I first started cosplaying. But yeah, that kind of hasn't happened that much lately. I've been trying to like really like keep my wigs very minor and focus on my sewing, so I have to brush up my wig styling skills. And working on the prop eye is going to be really fun because I have made some props in the past, but not as many as I would like. But I do a lot of like home repair and stuff, so I understand how things are built. I just don't apply it to cosplay. And so I just am kind of like, hey, I'm gonna make the eye Vaggie again, wig styling, and I'm want to make her angelic spear. I think that would be a really cool prop to have and not difficult to make. And Ari Fuerta Hajime has literally an entire mechanical arm, so that's a lot of foam smithing, and it just makes me happy to like make all of that happen. Like literally he has like articulated like mechanical fingers, and it goes up the entirety up to his shoulder where he has a giant pauldron. So cool. So those are going to be cool. I probably won't be streaming those because I need to be working with contact cement and all that jazz. And I would need to do that in the garage with the garage open on a table so I don't inhale any of the fumes. Because even if I did wear a respirator in here, the fumes would linger. And I wouldn't want to do that. Also, too, I don't like opening my windows because... Not because I can't open my windows. It's more I don't want to bring in dust and like particles of pollen into the house since my allergies are so horrific. So I'd rather just like do that in the garage or even better, my screened-in porch. So that might be something I do, but I will paint them on stream and finish them and like get them ready, like prep them, like do all the caulking in the seams to make it seamless, and maybe even sand a little because I can wear a respirator while sanding. And unless I'm like doing massive Dremel work, I'll probably make a little hutch so I can not have dust in my entire room because that would be annoying. But like that's the issue with like a lot of armor and like prop building is you just literally have dust everywhere, and I'm like, ugh. Don't want that. Do not want. Okay. Can I cut out 2 pieces of skirt fabric for this out of my fabric? I don't think so. I don't think I have enough. We'll see. Let's see what goes on here. No, I do not have enough. I already know just by opening this up. I have enough one. Wait, I do not have enough lining. Well, I guess I'm not lining this skirt then. Unless I make the skirt shorter. Which is always possible. Do I have any more fabric that I could use for a lining? This is just me being particular. It's not that I need a lining on this skirt. Once I make the petticoat, it's perfectly fine. Like, I don't need to line this. It's going to have a petticoat underneath it. But I'm just very particular about how I want things done. So, I have the skirt. Whee! Skirt. And, yeah. I don't think I need lining, so I'm not going to worry about lining it. I think lining the bodice would be more appropriate. Makes more sense because that kind of needs to happen. And I realized I did not cut this back seam for this one, so let's do that now. I'm doing this, and I literally stopped because I was like, wait, I don't need to do this. It's okay. We'll just continue. It's okay. I'll sew it up in the back. I didn't want to do that, and then I was like, wait, I already started cutting it. Mistakes were made. We'll live with them. All right, so we got our skirts cut out, our bodice, our lining for the bodice. And that's it right now that I need. I need to put I need to iron on the interfacing on my on the facing pieces and do a few things. I'm going to run off screen for a minute, but I'll be right back. Hello? Oh, there we go. Let's see. Is that working? I think it is. Woo! Don't know what happened there. That was weird. All right. Let's get back to this. So, facings need ironing. My machine needs to get some thread and TLC. So, actually, I should probably do that on stream so you can all see what I do with this beautiful machine of mine. She is a very good little workhorse that I have here. It's an old Kenmore machine. I picked it up when Sears existed. If you don't know what Sears is, it was a department store. Somewhat similar to Target, but not. More like a Macy's or a JCPenney. I think the only ones I've seen that are very similar to it are like the Belks. That's what a Sears was. It was like that. So it had clothing, household goods, like housewares, some power tools, so on, and they had their own brand of items, and they used to sell a lot of sewing machines. Like sewing machines were very popular from Sears. So here we are. I do want to dust in here a little bit and clean up because I have remnants, whether you see it or not, of my working on Made Mercury this summer, which I used glitter ribbon for the apron part, and there is glitter all over this machine. That is one of the horrors of cosplay. Once you use glitter, it never leaves. You will find glitter until You probably will find glitter in your tomb if you get buried. Or it might be among your ashes if you happen to get cremated. So, yeah. Glitter is always everywhere. So a few of the things I do is I just kind of dust out the dog feeds to help alleviate any of the dust that might have accumulated in there, or in this case, glitter. I even take out the bobbin hold because there's always stuff in there. I used to have, I don't know where my mini vacuum is, my hand vac, because I normally would take like the hand vac with me and just kind of put it in here too to help suck up any of the little hairs and threads that might have gotten trapped in here. But for this, I think we're pretty good. I should probably get a Swiffer or something to help pick up all this thread. So yeah, but this is like what one should do before, after working on a project and you're moving on to a new project. You should always clean out your equipment, oil it up a little bit, and make sure it's running pretty well, because it will help maintain the longevity of your machine and keep it healthy and running very well. So I have that. Okay, so there was a thread in the machine. That's like, I think that was part of the brush that it came off. But yeah, I've been using this little brush. I like him. Good boy brush. Okay, so as for oiling the machine, I just look at like the spots that tend to be pretty... Oh no, that's not good. Why did the bobbin do that? You're not supposed to do that, buddy. Are my dog feet in the wrong spot? No, they're in the right spot. There. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I put it in the right spot now. Good job. Let's make sure that's clean. All right, so I'm gonna put some oil in the interior of the machine, like in this part, to help make sure it remains running smoothly. And you don't use a lot of oil. A little goes a very long way. That's just the nature of the beast. Okay. I haven't cleaned out my machine in a very long time. I also haven't gotten it serviced in a very long time. I've never used this machine oil before. I used to have another machine oil that had like a long stick that would shoot up and help out. But this one is not the same. Oh no. Is this problematic for me? Okay. I guess what I can just do is... There we go. Again, I don't normally... I normally have one that I like, but I didn't see it at the place where I was buying my machine oil, and since my machine is not a Singer, it doesn't have the same areas as a Singer. I tried to use a Singer, and when I bought, this is my second sewing machine. When I bought my first sewing machine, it was also a Kenmore. My parents got it for me. I think it was like the $59.99 special, so to speak. And that was one of the things that they kind of just got me, and I really enjoyed sewing. I knew I would enjoy sewing. My grandmother was a seamstress, and I would always steal her sewing machine, so. And she had like the really cool one that was like the tabletop one. Man, I could have gotten that sewing machine when she passed. I would have held onto it with a passion. However, I did not inherit it. I did not get it, so I had to get my own sewing machine. And so, since that happened, I kind of like tried to figure it out, but I had, again, like I said, a very basic sewing machine. It didn't even do buttonholes. Like, it was like one of those, you actually have to sit there and make the buttonholes happen type thing, which is so annoying. Especially if you get into like more complicated, like you do more sewing that involves more active finishing, such as buttonholes and such. So I did not have aspects of those, so I was kind of stuck. Okay, we're good there, I think. Yeah, when I was working on the mock-up for this costume, everything was kind of sticking everywhere, so I was like, let me oil it. It might need some extra love right now, which clearly it did. So, but at least the feed dogs are clean. I know that for sure. And I am going to change the needle on this because that's another thing. Oh, the only other thing I need to do is set up the dart for the back because that would be important for my lining. Okay, I think I got something done here. Okay, I do have one bobbin with red fabric. I'm going to get a second bobbin wound with red fabric because I like having two because it lets me continue the stream of working on it instead of just having one bobbin, because that way I will be able to continue sewing even if this bobbin runs out, which it will. No. Oil. Cover you up. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to take this if I can, because clearly my nails don't want me to pick that up. Let's get this over here. I actually made a Niffty guide. Niffty is Niffty. I made a guide of what type of fabric uses what needle length, so I can always remember. Especially since these are like the common ones I use the most. So. A nifty guide. Okay, a moment as I move this. Let's see. I need to move my machine over anyway. So I actually keep the guide of what needles I need. I have the guide for the needles I need on my bobbin box. So it's just easy, quick reference. These are the common fabrics I tend to use a lot: cotton, satin, organza, tulle, chiffon. Obviously, top stitching has their own needles, which say top stitching and stretch has ballpoint needles, so I don't need those, but like the widths, the sizes, that's something I like keeping on reference. I am really not part of the Decorate Your Sewing Machine Club. I just happen to have the one random tea turtle sticker that I got one time, and I put it on the machine, and it's kind of lived there since, so not much we could talk about that. Let's move some of this fabric out of the way. Tidying up as you go helps everything out. Oh my goodness. A lot of times I do throw things, like I have like scrap fabrics and paper on the floor, but that's an easy cleanup. This part is a little bit more annoying, but it helps keep everything so much more in place. So also too, I tend to be a very type A personality, and I like things tidy, so I like fixing things up as I go. Is my stream lagging? I'm wondering what's going on, because it shouldn't be lagging like this. Interesting. I'm confused. I'm checking things because it seems like I'm dropping, but I don't know. Okay. Let's set up a bobbin. I only have this much thread left on this spool, so we're gonna use it for bobbin. I'm dreaming of lunch and dinner at the moment. Food is very important in my life. That's why I am how I am. But yeah, I have like some tuna downstairs that I had made a previous day. So I'm going to be using that with some salad. And then I think for dinner, I'm going to make steak slices in bulgogi. I'm going to mute before I use this machine so it doesn't cause an issue. Wow, this is what happens when you use a sturdy table. That camera did not move. Sweet. Okay. Wasn't a lot, but it'll make do. So I need to change the needle on this puppy. I don't even remember what needle that is, so I'm just gonna probably chuck it. And I'm going to make a little post-it note and put what needle I have on here currently so I can remember on this project, though you should change your needles after every project. I don't think should cause too much damage, but if I can reuse the needle, I will, because in this economy, we must play smart. Let me get my snippers. Fighting with my cabinet door, and I realized the charms that are on my Game Boy at my 3DS were in the way. Yeah, so this is an 8012, and we shall put it on the machine to remember. I've seen people take like plastic tape or chalk tape and put it on there instead, so they could just mark and use that instead. But a post-it works just as well. Will my nails allow this? Maybe. Let's see. I have like so many little things around that I use randomly and don't think that it's important to have them, but I do. Rulers, I'll put them on my chair for now. Okay. Hello, Guterman. I love Guterman thread. One of my favorite threads to use. The Germans, they know their thing. They know how to make quality items that last. Whether you're getting an iron from them, a sewing machine, thread, it lasts, man. So good. A little pricey, but they tend to do a lot of sales on them in Joann's, and if you go to Wowak, they have a lot of thread available for you as well. You just need to get their color chart, sign up for their magazine. You get everything. I am pretty sure my old address is still getting my old Wowak catalog because I didn't change my address. Okay. Oh, I was gonna put this away before I forgot. Actually, let me test some lines on the scrap fabric to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Also, it would help any of the oils get off the machine currently. Okay. Oh, tension's kind of high. Double check. Like I said earlier in the stream, the preparation and making sure everything's set up perfectly well is probably more of the issue than anything else. Not so much actually sewing anything. Okay, from what I'm seeing here, there's a lot of puckering on the fabric. I've lowered my tension. I've lowered my tension pretty low at this point, and it's still kind of acting up. So let's... I'm gonna just double check. No. Also, too, as I'm looking at the fabric itself, it's hard to see, but you're gonna see, if you look at it up close, and it's hard to see with the camera, it's breaking the fabric. So this needle is not a good one for this fabric. So we're gonna swap it out. So I was using a 70, an 80. I'll use a 70 and see how that works, because the 70 is a smaller needle. This one is puncturing the holes too largely, which is causing small tears in the fabric. Actually, it might have been my mistake. I don't think so, because it's the same size. But I was using ones that were considered overlock needles, which is for my serger. There must be dust and debris inside my thread cutter because it's not coming out cleanly. So something's going on there. Let's see. I'll try this one that says universal needles. Universal. Let's see if that one works. Because sometimes it could just be the type of needle. Let's go back up to 3 tension. Nope, I'm still getting the shredding of the fabric. So 80 does not work. I did see I have 75 and I have 70s, but I'm going to try these 75s and see how that works, because 75 might be the magic number. Let's see. Let's see, I want... Make it bigger. Nah, I might need a 70. I think this fabric needs a very fine needle. I really thought the 75 would work. It was like in between the 70 and the 5, and the 70 and the 80. I was like, maybe that might work. It's better than the 80 for sure, but nope. Not what we need. So let's do this. Alright, I have it at 3 tension, 6.5, and that's even worse. Holy cow. The best looking one so far is the 75. That one's really bad. Holy cow. Sometimes just like doesn't work the way it should. Let's see. Okay. I think I'll stick with the 75. I think the 75 might be my best bet. I'm gonna change the settings a little bit more on here and see what comes out. Let's try like with a lower tension at 75. Maybe that might help out a little bit. The trick with satin is you don't want to see all the holes puncturing. Hey there, Usako. How are you? I'm trying to find the right needle and setting for this fabric. How are you feeling today, sweetheart? Are you getting over your cold? We gotta play some Baldur's Gate on Thursday. Okay. That was a mistake. Something happened there. Okay. Are you ready for Thursday? I hope so. Like, all I remember was we couldn't get it to work, and we were gonna do the whole fight with the, Githyanki in the mine plane. And we were stuck because we couldn't get to them. And all we needed to do was long rest. That was so annoying. Oh my gosh. Okay, make sure wait. Yes, it's fine there. Troubleshooting this fabric. Why? Yeah, we spent 2 hours to figure out how to get that to work. That was terrible. This is why I have to have my nails nicely manicured, Yoda, so they don't, like, look weird on stream. Yeah, I think that might be the best bet for me right now. Even you uninstalled. You uninstalled the game. It's so bad. Like, it was so bad that night. It was a tragedy. Absolute tragedy. Okay, that's as good as we're getting. So, I need to change this. Look, Mom, I'm trying to be a good sewist. I'm trying to remember what needle I even have on my machine. We had technical issues with Baldur's Gate. Every time Usako invited me to the game, it would kick me out. It wouldn't let me load in. And so we uninstalled Baldur's Gate to reinstall it. I did it first, then Usako. Then we kind of like continued to troubleshoot it and figured out there must have been a glitch in the system because the only way to fix it was to do a long rest in the game. And then it worked fine. So she had to do the long rest because it's on her save file. And then she invited me and it worked. But no, we did not uninstall Baldur's Gate not to play again. We are still both playing Baldur's Gate. We just needed to uninstall. We didn't even need to uninstall to fix it. It just, we didn't know what else to do. Yeah, I know. You need to be able to see your vampire boyfriend. How was it meeting Neil Newbon? How was it? I'm sure it was like a very quick thing, but from what you wrote on Instagram, it looked adorable. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it was quick because I don't know how they were gonna get through all those people. I mean, when we did the same thing to meet Sean Schimmel, the person the guy who voices Goku, it was literally like the fastest interaction possible. They had so many people waiting for him to sign. But he did a very good job of, like, especially with children, he handled children very well. So I was happy that Kiddo was able to have that nice interaction. What are you sending me? I'm sure. I'm sure it was must have been like a hustle and bustle and felt terrifying. Currently, I am putting stitches, wide stitches to gather the sleeves later. So I did that on my fashion fabric. Now I'm going to do it on my lining fabric. There's the notch. Can't find the notch. You were acting cool. I'm sure you were acting cool. Thank you, thank you. Actually, it's kind of funny because I'm annoyed. The tripod I had purchased for stuff like this is one of those tripods that is supposed to move with you, like automatically move with you. And it fell down as I was setting everything up, and one of the legs broke. So now it's kind of propped on a trash can, a little mini trash can I have on the table. It's like it's like a little itty bitty trash can. It's like not it's shorter than this to compensate the missing leg. But I'm basically using my old cell phone as an extra camera. I would have done the same thing. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna front. I would have done exactly the same thing. I'm sure it was super overstimulating. Like, that's my concern about going to Comic-Con in general. It's way too stimulating for me. Don't get me wrong. I want to go back to Comic-Con. I just need to prepare for Comic-Con. I think that's what the problem is. Prepare. This was the work of art I did last week. I actually sat here and basted all of this together while talking to Yoda about a variety of things. So this should be easy to sew together. Okay. Gonna make this a little smaller. Mistakes were made. I need to go up higher. Okay. I am not going to backstitch on the top of the dart because I'm going to just tie a knot on it. So it stays nice and smooth on the top. I will back stitch on the bottom. And this bobbin is done. This is why we do more than one bobbin. In that bobbin's defense, it was a little itty bitty amount of red thread. So she only had but so much life to give us, and she worked hard. She was a valiant little bobbin. KK. I am going to match this on the 5/8 of an inch seam allowance on my machine. I actually have a 5 and an 8 on the bobbin cover, so I just line up the edge of my fabric with that, and that's how I know I'm at the right seam allowance. There we go. Let's see something. I have a message. I have a message. I don't think it's any... I bet you it's a bunch of reels. Oh no. Oh my lord. Hero, if you're watching, can we get matching capybara keychains? I want a capybara keychain with you. It reminds me of the little magnetic buns we would like, mochi that we would have back in the day. I am absolutely not a quick seamstress. I take my time and I literally slowly trudge through the machine. I do not rush. Rushing is not good for me, so I don't want to deal with those yet. Another time, another place. We'll do the back darts and the side seams because those are easy. The princess seams, not so much. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this, Usako. Have you seen all of the social media frenzy about the capybaras? Please tell me you've heard and seen things with the capybara. Oh my god. Capybara. Hold on. That's how you spell it. So, actually, oh wait, I have one here. So this is the capybara. It has like a flat snout and everything. And they've been like, Hiro has been fascinated with the capybara. So currently in the house, we have 2 of these. I have the large one. I have the large one. He has a small one. And he also has 2 other small ones that are actually like standing on all fours. This one's sitting. He has the other 2 that are standing on all fours. And apparently they're making keychains. And I told Kuro, we need to get them so we could have matching keychains of the capybara. But yeah, it's so cute. This plush is very, very soft. He's living on my couch right now. Yeah, and there's a bunch of things on social media about them. So I have a friend who has been posting capybara stuff from TikTok. And it's basically the capybara just staring at the screen blankly and just like blinking or yawning. And it's just because it's so cute, you're just like, oh my god, that's adorable. But yeah, they have a whole bunch of them. Let me message him. We need them. We need the capybara keychains. They are super cute. But yeah, if you look online, there's probably a whole bunch of stuff about the capybaras. The funny thing is we've been tormenting my child with them. So we just take the plushies and put them like outside the door of whatever room he's in. And he opens the door and he's like, what is this? Why is it here? It's kind of funny. Things you do with children. Yep, the capybara. It's kind of like how like they have like that whole little what is it? The hippo that's in the zoo with the pink cheeks. I forgot her name, like the hippo's name that's in like the zoo in China or something like that. That she's like a media star and everybody's doing memes with her. Kind of funny. Yes, there we go. Yes. I forgot her name, but I remember she just has the giant pink cheek. Yeah, I don't know her name. I forgot what her name was, but I found that funny. I was like, okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm perfectly fine with the news covering stuff like that, or the fact that the pandas, the Chinese pandas returned to the Washington D.C. Zoo. We need some new we need some lighthearted, uplifting content on the media circuit. Let me know when you're free, Usako, because I have to chat with you. It's nothing crazy, nothing major. I just want to talk. Things have been happening, and I want to chat with you. So let me know when you're free. It won't be long. It's just more like a quick Discord call and just chat and stuff. Did this line up properly? It did line up properly. Nothing crazy. Well, yeah, it's kind of chaotic and crazy, but nothing bad. We're all okay, but I just wanted to chat with you. Also touch base. I feel like I haven't spoken to you like one-on-one in a while. Okay, cool. When tomorrow? Like in the day or what? Let me know when, because I'm not streaming. I'm not planning on streaming tomorrow. I'll probably be working on this, but not streaming. Okay, cool. I'll bother you around noon. Cool. Cool skis. So apparently there was more drama at the Crown Championships again. I laugh because I feel like it's just like a common yearly thing. that you're gonna have a whole bunch of people coming out, and from I don't know what the exact tea is. It's like I've gotten secondhand tea. um, from what I've heard from like all like social media channels, someone was again like people were again upset that one of the giant like armor builds, like the suit type things, didn't win crown, and they wanted to know why someone who made something that looked very simple, or at least in their eyes looked simple. The moment I saw it on stage, I was like, that's insane what this person made. um Apparently, like, obviously people were like again butthurt because they want the giant builds to win without knowing what the competition's about, because the Comic-Con competition isn't the way it used to be in the past. Like, Crown Championship is a point-based score craftsmanship's competition. So they actually are grading your craftsmanship. It's not just like a glorified walk-on that you walk on and like whoever the audience seems to like, you pick. It's not that. It's literally like, did they make this? How did they make it? What technique they used? So it was funny because it was a short one this year. From what I saw, like I think it started at like 7 and it was done by 7:45. And each contestant has like a couple of seconds to walk on, and they read a whole like like a little blurb about the costume. And I'm like, by the time each contestant walks on, they chat like a second in between. I was like, the show must have been about 40 minutes, if that much. They actually did an audience choice award. That was the thing that got to me. And a Dame Aylin won the audience choice. And I was like, yeah, that was the thing that got to me. But what I'm always annoyed more at is how the cosplay community has to feel like they have to do like these little soapbox numbers and literally like plop a soapbox on their social media platforms and talk about it every time it happens. And I'm like, every time we have a major competition, this happens. Like, you don't even need to film new content at this point. You just need to like upload the same thing. Yeah, people were complaining despite the fact that there was an audience choice award. um I thought it was nice they did an audience choice because I feel that was something the competition needed, because European competitions do that. They actually have like their audience choice in the European competitions. So like they do like a whole, here, scan the QR code and pick which one is your favorite. And sometimes, ironically, this is how you know the European section of the cosplay community is vastly different. Most of the time in the European conventions and the competitions, the audience picks what is the grand champion because they understand and value like quality. Here in the United States, they're very blind by like flashiness, so they don't notice quality. They just are like, ooh, it's flashy, it's big, it's gigantic. So, but it was nice. I think there were like 2 Dame Aylins in the competition, so one of them got the audience choice. So I thought that was cool. But again, people were there complaining, and everyone had to go and be like the White Knights. And I'm like, this is always going to happen. And it was funny because Yaya Han was emceeing the whole thing, and she's here, like, basically trying to educate the audience. And I'm like, I applaud your effort, but they're not going to learn. They don't care. And I know she probably gets really annoyed because she's been to European competitions, and in Europe, they have a very different vibe with the whole thing. It's a very different focus. Oh no, we got a pucker. I'll fix that. I'll fix that later. I knew that was gonna happen. That's why I didn't want to do these. This is so hard to do. Um, but yeah, that was apparently the big T. But I was just laughing because I was like, again, I applaud your effort, people. However, these people are not gonna stop complaining. They're not. They really aren't, and they don't want to learn. So again, you're wasting your breath. So if you all of a sudden like a bunch of people have been posting something on Instagram of like SpongeBob like being weighed down by water, and it's all like, oh, I have to take a moment to like pause my scheduled content for this, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Don't bother. They don't care. Like, everyone who agrees with you are the people who craft. They're not the people complaining, although sometimes they are. But from what I saw, like what I saw from like the stage view, because I literally tuned into Crown like 5 minutes before it ended, which I was surprised at. It was done so fast. And when they lined up everybody on stage, it wasn't a very full stage. And that stage is pretty wide. There weren't a ton of people there. So compared to like the finals of C2E2, which went on for like 2 hours. It was endless. C2E2. It's Crown Championship. I mean, it's it's a qualifier and a final. So obviously it's going to take longer, but like the US qualifier itself took forever to go through. And I was just like, this was a little underwhelming, especially since it's New York. And New Yorkers, you know, like there's a lot of people who have access, can get to New York quite easily, that are very good crafters. But I guess none of them wanted to compete, which is fair. I'm not going to say everyone needs to compete. But they have a qualifier at Florida SuperCon. I don't know when that's happening. And then they have the one in April for C2E2, which is the finals / qualifier. And a lot of people tend to pick that one because they don't have to, they have a longer time period between crowns. Because if it was in April, they only had from April, like, and they decided to do Crown and do New York, they had to do it like between, make their work on their costume if they hadn't started it between April and November, which is October, which is not a long time. So a lot of them tend to hold off so they get the full year, if not more, because if they're already working on their costumes well before C2E2, they kind of have extra time. So I'm just trying to stop this from puckering. That's the issue when you have these curved seams. You need to make sure you don't pucker. But I was happy to see a repeat winner at Crown this year. I was very pleased to see her handle's Toxicat. She did the Five Nights at Freddy's animatron last year, and this year she did the Fawn from Pan's Labyrinth. She's such a wonderful FX cosplayer. Like, she makes those really weird, like out of this world type of cosplays, and she does them so well. So I was happy to see she won FX again in a second year in a row. I was like, holy cow, that's wild. Yeah, she's so good. I've been following like her on social media, and it's just like she did an awesome Nightcrawler. She basically reused her Nightcrawler costume, and she made such a wonderful looking Nightcrawler. Um and it's like kind of funny because I feel like somebody like her who is doing a very unique type of build could potentially be a person that would complain that something like, I think second place went to Cinderella ball gown at Crown, like second place overall. And I'm not saying that costume didn't deserve it. I will never say that, but I could see how somebody who does something like the FX category or the armor category would want to know why that would win overall. And not even so much the armor, but more the FX, because with the FX category, you kind of have to do a bunch of mixed media. It's not just armor, which is just mostly foam work. You're like doing sewing, you're doing building, you're doing animatronics, you're doing circuitry or like crazy makeup, mascot heads. Like, what? And that's like a question that like I guess people could ask, like figure out like why would something that's just completely sewn beat out something that has so many more elements, or was it just that there was lacking elements in all the different ones, stuff like that. But I was happy to see Toxicat won again because I root for her. I was like, yes, Toxicat. She's so good at what she does, and she has a passion for it. She always picks these characters that like you could tell she absolutely loves and adores, and she just goes for it. But I do not envy those crown championship judges. That is a very hard competition to judge because there are so many people bringing like their A game. But the person who won the qualifier and is being flown to the finals in April is someone called Pattern Mage. Excuse me, on Instagram. And it was like a, I guess, a design from a book called The Firebird. The amount of beading, hand beading, applique, gold work this person did on that costume was just stunning. It looked like something that came out of a movie. Like, that's the quality of work it was. It absolutely like deserved that win, which again annoys a lot of people because it's like you don't realize how much work goes into that, but that's because people don't know. A lot of people don't know. Like, they don't know like what goes into home renovations or something. Like, just in general, like ignorance is a lot of the issues that are being suffered by the cosplay community in general. And you can't really fix ignorance. Like, ignorance can't be fixed. Not like with the speed that people demand it. But I'm not gonna lie, seeing some people that I know like compete on that type of level and that stage, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'll make anything that would be. No, you can't fix stupid. That's the problem. I'm like, when I see people like sit on their soapboxes and try to like educate people, I'm like, who are you educating? Your audience is already educated in the manner, in this matter. What are you educating? You're educating stupid, and stupid can't be fixed. I mean, hello. We have issues going on currently today, and it doesn't matter like what side of the political aisle you're on realistically, but people are doing a lot of stupid things. Both sides. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, recently they were talking about here locally, there was this, I don't know, this older gentleman going around like trashing political signs. And I'm like, that's private property. That's illegal. Like, that's stupid what you're doing. I don't care what political affiliation you have. Don't do stupid. Like, why are you being stupid? I could get my seam ripper to do this, but I'm being lazy, so I'm using my, like, scissors very carefully to, like, open this seam up again so I can fix the pucker that came out on the bottom. Again, I have a seam ripper. I know how to use it. I don't want to get up. It's one of those moments. That if I do it very carefully, it'll be fine. Trust me, it'll be fine. But yeah, watching people compete in Crown kind of made me like itch to compete, which is weird because I never compete really. Like I've rarely ever competed at that level. Um, but then again, that level didn't exist when we were cosplaying and competing. That thing didn't exist. Like that level did not exist when we competed. But I would like to do something like that. I don't know if it'll be in the cards for me in the future or not. Yeah, we old. But the thing is, like, one of the, like, a person who won last year, second place overall, she's, like, older than me. And I was like, holy cow. So it made me feel good about the idea of, oh, I could do that. If she was able to do that, I mean, granted, her work was beautiful. But again, it falls into what would I make? Like, I don't know. Like, it wouldn't be an anime thing. And if it was an anime thing, it would probably be something more along the lines of an art book that's very elaborate and like a manga art book type thing, because then I would have something to work with of substance and really built on it. Uh, because my base sewing skills have gotten very good. Like they're like really like on point now, and I'm very proud of them. So I know like doing more of like that editing eye and like that the idea of embellishing and stuff I can do pretty well. Actually, I was thinking Final Fantasy stuff. I was thinking Final Fantasy stuff. Like as I was saying, like, oh, an art book, like really like I was thinking an art book. I don't know which one. I have to like probably look through all the Final Fantasy stuff, but I was thinking maybe a Final Fantasy would be really pretty on the stage. And I mean, I would like to like learn like do more of like that couching act the couching techniques. I would love to maybe use leather work, do some leather work, make pieces out of leather and like tanning them and like shaping them with all that stuff. I think that'd be so cool. Hey, I have a bodice. Look at that. A bodice is done. It's a bodice. It's a bodice. It's all wrinkled though. Oh no, that's perfect. Woo! Did you? That sounds so cool. I mean, like even my kid now, the classes he's taking are like he's able to take guitar and he's like learning how to play guitar. And I was like, wow, I don't think you would have gotten that in New York. Sorry. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I wish I would have had those things because I feel like I would have easily been more crafty than what I am now. Imagine me more crafty than what I am now. I'm like over here. All right. Well. Yeah, no, I've been seeing a few people do like leather working, and I actually have a Tandy leather not far from where I live. Like I can actually go and get like real hide and all the polishers and softeners that they have and be able to do it in person. And I'm just like, that's so cool. I didn't even know it was there. I found it randomly because I went to Home Depot and it was in the same mall. So that's kind of cool. All right. So I did the bodice. I'm probably going to pause for now. I have been on for about 2.5 hours. If I didn't have to cut out that lining, I probably would have gotten more done, but I wanted to have the bodice lined because I'm that type of person that wants a lined bodice. And so I'll probably come back to it later. But for now, I'm going to put a pause there. I'm going to see. I got a notification that somebody I rated was streaming. So I want to see if they are also available again because that was cool. Let's see. That's on. Let's see. No, this isn't the right one. This is the one I want. Okay, let's see. Okay. Are they on right now? Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, so we're going to raid Kimmy Panda. And Kimmy Panda is a UK-based streamer who is crocheting gifts for her family members. And the last time we raided her, she was crocheting a cow and it looked so cute. So we're gonna run and raid Kimmy Panda again because she was just really cool and chill. Also too, I think it was like really like the cow was adorable, of course. So I'm gonna go do that. And we will go say hi to Kimmy Panda. But thank you, anyone who joined today. Again, we love anyone lurking in the background, just hanging out. I'm going to be working anyway. And I'm going to keep working on this costume off stream. But I'll be back on Friday to keep working on the costume. And Thursday, I will be joined with Usako to play some Baldur's Gate. Hopefully, if it doesn't die on us again. But anyway, have a good day. Bye.